By now, we all know, or should know, that these Black Diamond Disney VHS are not worth crap. And by that, I mean they're not worth $500, $1,000, $20,000 by any means. Now, if you go to a Goodwill or any thrift store, you can probably find any of these Black Diamond tapes for $1 to $3. Sometimes you'll find them for 50 cents. However, if you're not, I have a list of Disney VHS here that are actually worth money. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Ecto-Violence channel. My name is Alec, this is Darwin. Today, we're talking about Disney VHS tapes that are actually worth money. I go out and thrift VHS daily. Very rarely I buy VHS tapes from Instagram sellers, once in a while eBay if it's just something I really feel like I need to have. Other than that, I usually wait till I find it in the wild, which is why the selection's pretty limited when it comes to horror. I mean, I'm pretty proud of the horror collection that I have going, and I've done a whole video on just my VHS horror collection. And generally, that's what I spend the most money on. None of the tapes we're going to talk about in this video are going to be worth anything more than a couple $100. But still, that's a lot of money for an old tape that really is worth $1. So let's talk about this Black Diamond myth. It seems years ago there was an article that circulated, and people were talking about these Disney VHS tapes are worth money, but only these certain ones that are in the clamshells and have the Black Diamond, which were coincidentally the ones we mostly grew up with. You see, when I was growing up, my mom actually worked for the Disney catalog. I'm not 100% sure. She either took inbound phone calls for people ordering out of the catalog, something like that. You know, she didn't work in shipping or anything. She worked in an office. But we got great deals. She was always bringing home Disney VHS. And this is how I saw most classic Disney movies that I wasn't even aware of. Aristocats, Oliver and Company, hell, Fun and Fancy Free, if you remember that one. She was always bringing home the new movies that were coming out, like The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, all that stuff was coming out when I was a kid. And another thing to consider is, again, I mentioned I go thrifting constantly. You will constantly see Disney VHS, Black Diamond or not, wherever you go. That's the one thing you can count on, because it was so manufactured. They manufactured so many of those things, and people bought so many of them. I think some of the ones I always see talked about are the Little Mermaid cover, the band cover, right? No. Again, this is worth a couple dollars. It's cool, it's mildly interesting, I'll give it to you, right? But this is not going to make you a bunch of money or anything. Now, I've discovered a collection of Disney movies that are worth money. And you might already have a clue of what I'm going to talk about. It's Disney Channel original movies. Now, some of you may be aware and remember these movies. Some of you might be watching this going, oh crap, I kind of remember those movies. Stuff like Halloween Town, Brink, Johnny Tsunami, Smart House, Motocrossed, and one that I actually have in the collection, which inspired this video, Xenon Girl of the 21st Century. Now let's just start with this one because it's a good example. This is a movie I found thrifting, and because I recognized it and it was a Disney Channel original movie, and it's in a Hastings rental case, one of these squeeze ones that comes out the bottom, I picked it up for $1. And I don't even remember how I learned that this was a tape that was worth money, because I don't just go and enter every tape's name and look what's worth money and buy that. I don't flip tapes. I buy them for me. So if I find something worth $50 for $1, I'm stoked because I didn't have to pay $50, not because I can make $50. I feel like that's slightly more honorable. I don't know. Either way, currently, you can get this tape for anywhere from $50 to $80 on eBay. Now, I'm not going to sell it or anything, and I'd have to clean this copy up a good bit because it is moldy. However, I do know how to clean moldy VHS tapes. But it's even got mold growing in between the case, the clear case, and on the packaging. You can probably see some of it there. It's pretty gnarly looking. Now, to me, I just want to clean it up so I can watch it and preserve it. Let's talk about some of these other Disney Channel original movies. Motocrossed. This currently goes for $45 to $60 on eBay. That's significant. You know, for VHS, honestly, anything more than $20 is expensive to me. And even a $15 tape, like, I'm really only going to pay that for horror, or if it's something I've been thinking about and wanting for a long time. I actually have on DVD, I have the second Johnny Tsunami movie, Johnny Kapahala Back on Board, and I have Tower of Terror. Any of these original movies by the Disney Channel, I pick up. I'm a big fan. Even before they were called Disney Channel original movies, they were still making original movies for the Disney Channel. They just called them something else. I can't remember off the top of my head, but Susie Q, that's a great one with Amy Jo Johnson. I don't even know if that got a VHS release. You know, some of these don't. Halloween Town never got an official VHS release. Let's move on to Jumping Ship. This is another one I remember. This one goes for $20 to $40. Another sort of on the cheaper side of the Disney Channel original movies, but fascinating to see nonetheless. Okay, so Jet Jackson, the movie. This was the movie that was like, you know, a sequel to the TV series that was going on at the time, starring Lee Thompson Young. And rest in peace, that guy was awesome. He was in, obviously, Jet Jackson. He was in Johnny Tsunami. He was Johnny Tsunami's best friend. In this one, I've seen for going $45 to $60. Like, again, over $50, that's crazy. One of my personal favorites, Johnny Tsunami, must have been one of the more popular copies that they printed, because you can get one for $20 to $40, and that's easily one of the best Disney Channel original movies. Like, it's up there in my top 3 for sure. I mean, Halloween Town's great. I love the spooky stuff. So Phantom of the Megaplex, which I don't think had an official VHS release either. The 13th Year. Now, this one goes for $65 to $80. This is one of the Lawrence kids, and they turn into a mermaid on their 13th birthday. It's sort of a girlier version of Teen Wolf, you know, but done by Disney Channel. But this one's going for $65 to $80. That's crazy to me. I don't even remember that one being that good. It's just rare. Then we've got Luck of the Irish. I don't know if you remember this one. Again, reminds me of Teen Wolf. But he's turning into like a leprechaun. Is that what's happening in this movie? Like, it's Teen Wolf, but he turns into a leprechaun because he is playing basketball. Like, that's the point of the movie. It's very interesting. And this stars the same kid that's in Smart House, which we'll get to. He's also in Final Destination 3. Ryan Merriman. Yeah, he was all over Disney Channel back in the day. And then we come to what I think, at least from my research, what I could tell, is the most expensive 2 Disney Channel original movies. Also 2 of my favorites, so it's kind of a bummer, because I probably will never own these. Because I just don't want to spend that much, you know? But, Smart House. You remember Smart House? This one captured my imagination. Featuring Katie Sagal as the voice of the house, like, just, it's very iconic. I've actually gone back and watched this one on Disney+. I've done that with a few of these that I really like Phantom of the Megaplex. Dude, I can watch that movie like just over and over. I don't know what it is. I love it. I think it's because I forgot about it for so long, and then I discovered it again on Disney+, and was like, holy shit, I just forgot about this movie for 20 years, but I used to love it. I love movie theaters. I love everything about that movie, man. It's solid. But Smart House, I also felt that way about. But I didn't forget Smart House. You know, that one's burned into my skull, because they played that one all the time. And that one goes easily for $75 to $100, which is insane. There's copies worth more than that. There's sealed copies that are going for $200. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that's going to sell, but ideally, I'd like to get a copy of this someday, even if I have to make my own. And lastly, we've got Brink, perhaps every young man's favorite Disney Channel original movie. This was the movie. I've gone back and watched this one too. It's definitely Disney Channel, but like, it's great. And it goes for $75 to $100 too. Another bummer. There's easily $500 worth of tapes we've discussed if you were to try to buy all these. That's a lot. These are easily worth more than any other Disney VHS that I'm aware of. Now, sure, there's going to be some weird outliers out there. There's always stuff we don't know about. And that's the thing. I'm sure there's tapes sitting on my shelf that are worth $100 that I just don't know that because I haven't looked all of my tapes up because it takes so much goddamn time. But either way, take this knowledge that I've presented you with today and go forth into the world and get yourself some Disney Channel original movies on VHS. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.